The video review will start in a few seconds, but if you're watching this on YouTube, remember, if you have a question, comment, or suggestion for me, you can post it on 3dgameman.com, and the link is provided below. Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds from 3dgameman.com, and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the NZXT H630 case, and this is a full tower case. It is pretty large. It comes in two different colors, white as you see it here, and also black. Now this case does have some plastic parts, but it's mostly steel, and due to its size, it's pretty darn heavy. Now being heavy is something that's symptomatic for full-size tower cases, unless of course they are aluminum. You're not in the market for a full-size tower case unless you really need the space. If you need something lightweight or something that is smaller, you're going to go for a small form factor case or a mid tower case. The overall build quality, styling, and design on this case is quite nice. It is different. It's not too bold, but it's still really elegant looking. At the front, there's a power LED along with two 5¼ inch drive bays. At the bottom is their logo. Lots of ventilation here along the right side of the front bezel. At the top is a power button, and there's a power LED around this power button. Here's the reset button, and this is the hard drive activity status LED. On the right side of the front bezel at the top is an LED on-off button, microphone jack, headphone jack, two USB 3 ports, two USB 2 ports, and a card reader. More ventilation on the top panel at the left. Keeping with that elegant styling, the left and right side panels are plain. At the back is where you install the motherboard's I/O shield plate. They include a 140mm exhaust fan, but you can install a 120mm if you wish. This kind of gives you the option of having a 140 or a 120 ALC advanced liquid cooler back here. It comes with 9 ventilated expansion slots, extra ventilation, and at the bottom is where a standard ATX power supply gets installed. As well, they include 4 thumb screws, 2 on each side panel, and there are actually 2 dust filters at the bottom. Those are removable. One at the back just pulls out like so, and there's another one at the front which also slides out. Now this case comes with thick acoustic dampening material, which is on both the left and right side panels as well as the top panel. Lots of space on the inside of this case to work, but unfortunately the motherboard tray is not removable, although it does have a large hole on it for the cooler's retention plate, and there's lots of cable management holes as well as plenty of space behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel to tuck those cables away. And there are also lots of punch outs on the motherboard tray so you can attach the cables. There's a tool list designed for installing drives in the 5¼ inch drive bays. You can have a total of up to 8 3½ inch or 8 2½ inch drives installed. Now there are 3 different drive bay cages. One at the top for 3 drives, one in the middle for 2 drives, and one at the bottom for another 3 drives. And by the way, installation of these would be done from the other side of the case. You would just slide it out. Installation of a 2½ inch drive would require 4 screws, but they are included. You can install a number of optional fans inside of the case, 2 here, and by the way, these pivot. Once you mount them, you can just pivot them to where you want and then lock them into place. And at the bottom, you can install 2 optional 140mm or 120mm fans. Now there's a very large 200mm intake fan at the front of the case, but you can install another 200mm fan. That's optional. Also optionally, you can install up to 2 140mm fans or up to 3 120mm fans. Note that they have rubber rests at the bottom of the case for the power supply. Now this is an ideal case for water cooling because there's simply lots of space and lots of places to put radiators. Now you can fit a video card or video cards up to 354mm in length, a cooler that is up to 190mm in height, and the power supply, well, just about as long as the video card, 354mm, depending of course whether you have a fan installed here. Now I mentioned before that there's lots of space behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel. There's actually 27mm of space, so that will give you lots of room to organize cables. like you see here. Now this is pretty cool. You can install another two 2.5-inch drives behind the motherboard tray, and to install a 2.5-inch drive, first of all, remove the 2.5-inch drive plate and then mount the plate to the 2.5-inch drive and then just put it back into place. And you can do so very easily because they include a thumb screw on each. Also on the back of the motherboard tray is a place to install up to 11 3-pin fans. Now as I mentioned before, this is the side of the case where you would install or remove drives. To do so, just pull this out, bend it, put the 3.5-inch drive in, which is a toolless operation, or install a 2.5-inch drive using the included screws, and then just push it back into place. Now there's 4 thumb screws on each drive cage. Remember, there's 3 drive cages, and this will make it very easy to remove or install the cage. In the bottom hard drive cage, they have a box, and in it is this, lots of screws as well as plenty of cable ties to organize the cables. The feet at the bottom are nice and high, and this will keep the case off the surface that it is on, so the bottom fans can intake lots of air. And by the way, these are plastic feet, but they have rubber inserts. Finally, have a listen to the stock cooling. This is an outstanding case in just about every respect, except for the fact that it is a little on the heavy side, but that's to be expected from a full tower case anyway. And considering the price point on this, the overall features, build quality, and design, it's without a doubt a 100% kick-ass product. Until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and please note that pricing for this product is available on the 3D Game Man video review page.